All right. See, I see some of you are already coloring. I love it. Do it. That's what they're there for. So a couple of rules we talk about around here. Everybody gets to talk, right? So no monopolizing the time, right? Make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. What we're doing around the table is intentional to learn from each other. So take the time to speak short, succinct, so everyone at the table can do. Don't use it as a platform, right? We're learning from each other. Listen. I love this picture. That's why I keep using it. Big ears. Listen more than you talk. And then Claire will come around with the mic every once in a while when you respond, because it's not just talking around your tables. We also want to hear back from you, from the group. But when it's time for that, Claire will bring you the mic. You don't get to touch it. And when Claire gets bored listening to you, she will pull the mic away. So make sure you do it really fast. All right, ready for the practice one? All right, here we go. Who in your family are you most like, and why? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, so who wants to tell us? So practicing talking out, who wants to tell us something, who in their family they're like? Just get a couple to get practice. So I got one.
My dad.
And why?
Our personalities are very alike, which gets quite annoying.
All right, who else? Somebody else want to tell us who they're like? Behind you.
I am a lot like my stepmom, Darcy. I even look identical to her.
Oh, wow.
And now she's been in me and my twin brother's life since we were 12. And I would always say family is not always blood, but family is always love. In fact, whenever I go out in public with just me and my father, people will say, "Oh, is this your wife?" And I have to clarify. I say, "No, I'm the daughter." So we look that much alike.
Nice. Anybody else? All right. Now we'll start some good ones. All right. Next question is, how do you keep up with people in your life? So you meet someone, you start hanging out. How do you keep up with them? How do you get to know them more? How do you, if they move to, say, out of Washington, how do you keep up with them? If you learn to play pickleball and you're playing pickleball with them, how do you keep that pickleball group going? Like, what's your form of communication? How do you keep in touch? How do you keep together with the people that you know in your life? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beep. So here's what's fun. We've got all kind of ages in here. So it's going to be interesting to see the different styles for the different ages about who does what and how they do it. So who wants to start? Give me some examples of how you keep up with people.
My table is clueless about pen pals,
Ooh.
but we all text people, so yeah.
So we're text pals now instead of pen pals, is that?
Correct.
There you go. So how many had pen pals? Like, that's old school. Just a few of them.
My friends hate when I do this, but I'll
Hold on, we're listening.
My friends hate when I do this, but I'll randomly send them letters or show up to their house without consent.
Which we just called showing up at their house, because that's just what you did. Who else? How do you keep up with people? Are you good at keeping up with people? You like to feed people?
Yeah, I host game night most of the time,
There
every
you go.
couple of months.
Yeah. Game night. Hosting game night, having people over, that's great. Feeding them, that's awesome. People keep coming back if you keep feeding them. Thus, every first Sunday, we do food. Who else? Tell me some ways you keep up with people. Or ways you'd like to keep up with people but don't do it.
I like to call you.
Call them?
Don't text me and tell me you love me.
That's one of those fun things, right? Some people want text and some people don't. So
We use Facebook a little bit
there you go.
to find somebody.
Facebook. That's how you keep up with the people you don't have to talk to. Yeah. That's what I use it for. Who else? Give me some more ideas. Y'all did a lot of talking, so give me some more. Anybody else? Oh, we got one up here.
So at our table, we were talking about how we're not very good at following up, at least some of us. And iPhone has a feature where you can set a scheduled message to go out the next day. So if someone kind of pops up in your mind and you are thinking about them, but it's like midnight and you can't text them, just, send the message later or whatever.
Nice. So is that what y'all were showing each other? Yeah. So this is what's really cool, right? Like, not only were they saying you could do this, they showed them how to do it. So that's cool. All right. So last week, H talked about being the vine, right? I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. For this is my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. So last week he spent a lot of time on the end, right? The 4 ways. It's a great talk, right? You hear what the four ways of people look at the afterlife, right? What happens at the end. Great talk. I want to focus on a little bit different part of the scripture here. I want to focus on the part that says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, it is he that bears much fruit. So one of the things that we talk about a lot is, in the Bible, there's a lot of things that God asks us to do that we just can't do, right? It's hard. It's beyond us. It's tough, right? Love your neighbor, love your enemies, right? We talk about these things all the time as things that are beyond us. But also we talk about where that power comes from that we can do it. And that comes from the Spirit, that comes from God, that comes from Jesus, right? So Jesus is saying here, if you abide in me, you'll be able to bear much fruit. What's the fruit? Remember, y'all can still talk back to me. What's the fruit? Fruit of the Spirit, give them to me. Boom. I think he said if there was one verse to memorize, it would be this one, right? So, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are all things we want in our lives. I want to be known as the guy in control, who has self-control, doesn't get too one way or the other, right? I want to be known as the faithful one. I want to be known as the kind one, the loving one, right? That's what we want. But then people show up, and it's hard to be kind. It's hard to be patient. Because people, right? And then you show up, and it's hard for other people to be kind and patient and peaceful, right? Sometimes it's you that causes the trouble. So how do we do this? How do we do these things? And it comes back to what Jesus says. If you abide in me, then you'll be able to bear much fruit. If you abide in Jesus, if you're in Jesus, if you and Jesus are in sync, the closer you get, the more you're going to look like that list. The more you seek after Jesus, the more you're going to look like this list. So how do we do that? I'm glad you asked. Because guess what our next question is? How do we do that, right? So this week I had a training with my staff, and one of the things we do, we do one-on-one meetings with all of our students every term to get to know them, to get to know where their barriers are, what's going on in their education, like just to know them, right? My team there's 4 different people. They're totally different people. They have different personalities. They have different ways they approach people. Like, it's totally different. At the end of the training, at the beginning of the training, I said, we're going to learn from each other on how to do this. Because we all have to have these meetings. We all have to interact with these people. I want to hear how you do it. I want to hear how you have such a good connection with your students and how you do that. How do you build that connection? What questions do you ask? What forms do you use? What ideas do you do? We had a great 30-minute session just on us talking to each other about how we do this, right? At the end of the day, I told them, you have to have these meetings. Let's do them well, right? So these are things that you need to do. These are things you want to do. How do we do them well? And I think the main thing that we have to realize is it's not about trying to do these things well. It's about realizing that the fruit is from the Spirit. So if Jesus comes to us and says, I'm the vine, abide in me, and you'll bear fruit, then the question I'm going to ask is, how do you keep up with God? Right? So we can't send God a Snapchat. Right? But how do you keep, if that's where the source is, if that's where the power comes from, if that's the thing that teaches us how to do these things, how do we do that? So what I want you to do on your tables is I want you to talk about how you do that. Things you're trying, things you've tried, things that work for you, things that don't work for you. This is a learning session that I want to learn from each other. So I want to learn at your table what works and what doesn't. And then I want y'all to speak out and tell the big group as well, right? This is a learning session. We all want to be this list. So let's help each other be this list. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. What works, what doesn't work for you? How do you connect with God? How do you interact with God? How do you keep the Spirit flowing in your life? Like however you want to, like that's the thought I want you to do. All right, I heard some great stuff. I like to wander around and listen. Heard some great stuff. So this is a learning session. This is us learning from each other. So please tell us something from your table. We got one in the back. I might start volunteering you. So you may want to find a speaker from your table to.
I said I keep up with God in my daily life through discipline, obedience, and sacrifice, and the little things that I do every day. Such simple things, being grateful, saying thank you to everybody, and being kind.
So practicing. Yeah.
The one thing that I'm training myself to do is to be under self-control no matter what. Like the last 2 times when I was in a restaurant, I ordered the country fried steak with no gravy. They brought out the country fried steak with gravy on it. I kept my mouth shut. I did not complain. I ate it. And And I had to remind myself, Dorothea, somebody somewhere did not eat today, so don't complain. So I just kept my mouth shut. I ate it. I paid. I gave the server the gratuity. But I'm learning self-control and to not complain because there are others who are very bad off.
Are you learning to like gravy now? Who else? Tell us how you keep God in your life, how you keep that connection going, how you're learning.
Just like being empathetic towards other people, and learning like patience, and like practicing like what he said back there. It's just like practicing your patience and your discipline and things like that.
Practice. What do we got? Oh, one in the back.
So we talked about actually beginning out by actually defining what the word abide means, and how do you break that down, and how do you make that work? So abide means, first of all, it means attach yourself to Jesus. So you could, at the hip, at the neck, however you're attached, you're stuck to him. Second, abide really breaks down to three things: think, become, do. Think, meditate, cogitate until you incorporate what Jesus teaches and do what Jesus teaches.
There you go. I love people with a plan, with a flow, like you can make it the 3 letters. Like, I love it. All have different brains. We all think differently. I love it. There's always the process guy. What else? So there was some great stuff out there. The church needs to hear what you were saying. So tell us what you said, so we all get to learn.
Okay, I'll say something. Now, I don't really want to.
Hold on, the mic's coming.
I really don't want to follow Exode and Lonnie. I don't. But I'll tell you, the Wednesday night group feeds my soul. And being around people who have so much to share and love and give is life-changing.
So being around people, being around other people.
Being around people like you who lead our Wednesday night group.
Oh, getting the thumbs up. Who else? Anything from this table? So, this is not about striving more. This is not about working harder. This is not about disciplining yourself to be more, right? Whatever. To be more kind, to be more patient, right? This is about letting God work through you, letting the Spirit work through you. So there's an end to my patience. There's no end to God's patience. There's an end to my kindness. There's no end to God's kindness. So you can feed me the gravy one every time, right? I'm going to run out of patience. I'm going to run out of kindness, right? I'm going to run out of tipping, right? The question is, how can I stay in the Spirit so that I can be kind all the time? So things I heard about being with a body of, like being with other believers, being in a church, like being with other bodies of believers, being in a small group. So you can hear other people and just bounce these ideas off each other. Showing up a lot of times is that. Serving. So when you go, there was a small but mighty group that went downtown yesterday and served the people who need it. You see God move. You see that, you want to be a part of that even more, right? It's not about doing more. It's about connecting with God. So what my challenge is, for you this week is don't think, how can I be more kind? How can I be more patient? Think about how I can connect to God more. Because if I can connect with God, there's an unlimited source of kindness and patience. There's an unlimited source of peace when I connect with God. When I try and do it, there's a limited source. When I connect with God, there's an unlimited source. And this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so you may be able to discern what is best and be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ. It comes through Jesus Christ. It comes through the Spirit. That's where the unlimited supply is. That's where you want to go.